Hey there, kindergarten. This is your last week of addition, and we have one more strategy that we need to talk about before we move on to addition's opposite, subtraction. Now, if you're watching this video, hopefully you have watched all the other videos that we've been doing about addition and what it is and how we can solve the problems. We have talked about using tallies, which was last week's video. We have talked about using our fingers in a number line to count on. We have drawn pictures. We have used Play-Doh blobs in a 10 frame to model that and count that on a 10 frame. I showed y'all how to draw that. And this week, for our last day of addition, we are going to use the strategy called the Touchpoints. If you've ever been in my classroom, you saw the Touchpoints were above my table. They were posters. And so really quickly, I'm going to show you Touchpoint cards. And you can follow along with the video and make your own Touchpoint cards as we go. So I just did mine on sticky notes, but you can use index cards. You can use just colored paper and cut it into squares. And you're going to write your numbers 1 through 9 on the sticky notes. So like number 1, 2, 3, etc., etc. So go ahead and take a couple of minutes and write numbers 1 through 9 on some cards. And then I'm going to show you how to draw the touch points so we can use our strategy. All right? So if you need to pause the video to write your numbers, go ahead and do that. And then we will use the Touchpoint cards to solve. And make sure that you keep your Touchpoint cards in a safe place because we're going to be using them for the next couple of weeks in our videos to do addition and subtraction. So once you've got your numbers written, I'm just going to demonstrate on a whiteboard, and then I'll show you what the card looks like. So once you've got your numbers written, we are going to draw on our touch points. Now, each number has exactly that many touch points. And so that way when we count, we can touch the dots and count the number. So number 1 has 1 touch point, and we just say it as we draw it. 1. So you can do it on a card or a piece of paper, however you want to keep track of these points. Then we have number 2, 1, 2. Three. 1, 2, 3. And parents, if you're watching this video with your child, pretty much all of the corners or the stands of the numbers are what we, any place that the pencil ends is where we would draw a point when we're writing. So that's kind of, when we get to the higher numbers, 7, 8, and 9, we have a strategy that we use to make sure that we can get all the points on. But it's just all the corners or where the pencil stops or turns as we're writing. So number 4 gets 4 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Now you notice that 6 looks a little bit different. And these circles around the dots mean that we're going to touch each dot 2 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, you notice it has some circles as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you can do that in reverse. You can put 1 at the top and 3 on the bottom. It really doesn't matter as long as we have 8 points and somewhat the same every time. Okay, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 8 on our stem and 1 out on our circle. I've also seen you can put the 1 in the middle, parents, if that's easier or a better visual. You can kind of give the 9 an eye and touch the center. Either way. So that is how we draw the touch points. So if you have that written on a piece of paper, go ahead and set it to the side. Get your cards, set them to the side, and I'm going to use my cards for the rest of this video. So we're going to solve addition problems and use our touch points. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the problem on my whiteboard, and then I'm going to use my cards to show me how I need to draw my touch points. Now, when we do addition, we always say the first number and then use our touch points to count on. So let's do a problem like 1 plus 2. I'm going to find my 2 touch point card. So if you're watching the video, go ahead and find your 2 touch point card. Okay, I am going to say this number, 1. Then I'm going to count on, which was the strategy that we did a couple weeks ago with our fingers and our number line. Count on to 1, 2, 3. If you need to see that on your fingers, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're doing the same thing we did a couple weeks ago, but instead of using our fingers, we have drawn on the number. So I can say 1, 2, 3. The last number you say is always your answer. Let's solve another one. Let's try 4 plus 3. I'm going to get my 3 touch point card. Just as a visual on how to draw it. Say 4, draw on 3, and count on 4, 5, 6, 7. My answer is 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's do 0 plus 5. Now 0 does not have a touch point card because you can't draw any points on 0 because it's nothing. So I'm going to get my 5 card just as a visual. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I copied the dots exactly from my card. The last number I said was my answer, but I can't remember what I said, so I'm going to do it again. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0 plus 5 is 5. Let's try 3 plus 3. Get your 3 card out just as a visual. 3 plus 3. 3, 4, 5, 6. And something tells me that the first time I said that problem, I said 6 plus 3. So we're going to go ahead and do that one too. 6, 7, 8, 9. You can draw or you can touch. 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. There are multiple ways we can use our touch points. Very practical. We can draw, we can touch, we can do a little bit of both, or they just serve as a reminder of how many numbers we should count. Let's do 8 plus 1. 8, 9. 8, 9. Okay, so now that we have our Touchpoint cards drawn, we can use them to solve addition problems, all right? And Touchpoints work very similarly to our counting on strategy. You say the first number, then either draw or touch and count, okay? Pretty easy. I think you guys can do it. If you have any questions on how to make the Touchpoint cards, I am going to attach a picture of the whole set of Touchpoint cards to the Facebook page, so check that out. And I will also be available if you need to watch the video again, or if you need to send me a text to ask me how I did it. Go ahead and do that too. I think you guys can do this. It's pretty easy. We're getting so good at addition. You should be able to do these without even needing a strategy. But just in case, we've got another one. And next week, we're going to start working on subtraction. So keep your Touchpoint cards handy because we're going to use them again, okay? Good luck, guys. And I know you can do it. Miss you. See you next week.